This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Helping victims escape domestic violence. Welcome back to another edition of Hometown Heroes on Family Life. I'm Mark Webster, and this week's guest is Katie Rhodes of Catholic Charities in Chemung and Schuyler counties in upstate New York. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and Rhodes says her organization has been helping victims in several ways for many years. You've been at this for a while. What changes have you seen for better or worse? Awareness seems to at least be better.
Let's start with better. I like that. Catholic Charities has been providing victim services since 1997. We started out in Schuyler County, and I think in the better category, we're seeing that there's more funding, so that is helpful because we've been able to hire another advocate. We're in the process of hiring a third, which would be awesome to be able to better serve both Chemung and Schuyler counties. So that's definitely a positive. In the negative, if you will, is the number of cases that we're seeing that warrant the need for additional staff.
Have they continued to rise a lot?
Yes. We saw a definite increase after COVID. Things were steadily going up, and unfortunately, we've still seen that go up. So, we're serving over 100 in each county, and it's just been constantly increasing. Last year, we ended the year by serving over 300 people in Chemung County and almost 200 people in Schuyler County. That's probably the highest that it's been for us in quite a while. So we've just kind of seen a steady uptick since COVID. It is hard to say, though, is that because people now know that the resources are there, and so these were always situations that were happening, people just didn't come to us for the resource? Or is there truly an increase in the number of domestic violence cases? It is hard to say.
That was going to be my next question. From talking to victims over time, I was wondering if they've given you any insight, a common thread or threads behind that increase.
Yeah, I think financial insecurity and instability can increase domestic violence. Also, domestic violence is more than just physical. It's also the emotional, the mental, the financial. A partner withholding funds from someone that is abuse, and then it can lead to something more, or it could just stay at that. But someone feeling very trapped in a relationship, it's definitely not a give and take healthy relationship. Also, the mental instability. Since COVID, we've definitely seen a rise in people needing mental health services. And if people aren't getting the proper help that they need, then that could be coming out and playing out in a relationship as well. And just kind of seeing that increase in domestic violence with both women and men. We are definitely seeing both that are coming to us for services.
As the old saying goes, an ounce of prevention worth a pound of cure. I know one of the many services that you provide along these lines is education for younger people to try to keep this problem from starting in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. Our advocates and their supervisor love to do education. We have healthy relationship curriculum that we can do in the schools, even starting as young as elementary, and just start educating kids on what the healthy relationship look like. It's really important because that can help stop that cycle of violence. Also getting kids some help when they might have also been victims of domestic violence through their parents, right? If they're seeing or hearing something happening in the home, that's very traumatic for them, and being able to get them the help and counseling that they need so they can break that cycle is very important.
Absolutely. Just crime in general, it seems to be one of the biggest problems and hurdles to get over is a self-perpetuating cycle where you're brought up in it and that's normal for you.
Yes, absolutely. And we see kids that don't understand that that's not what they should be doing, that isn't healthy, especially without a biblical Christian worldview. It's very hard for people to sometimes know what's right and wrong. And sometimes people are very good. Intrinsically, they know that there's right and wrong, but others, they really lean towards whatever they've been exposed to and don't maybe have the tools or the support to be able to break out of that cycle. And something like First Step Victim Services can be that support to help someone break free out of that cycle and say, this ends with me. I'm not doing this again for the next generation. And we're able to see families coming out of this and being able to build back and have a mom and her kids be safe and see them grow up and thrive. And that's really what we are about, is being able to provide the resources and the support in a non-judgmental way. Our advocates are very caring, and many of them have been through domestic violence, and so they understand. There's definitely that empathy there. And if someone is just not sure, they're on the fence, they think, well, maybe there's some red flags in this relationship, just give us a call and talk with one of the ladies. Sometimes just talking it through can help you see, this isn't going to be a healthy relationship, and I need to figure out what to do next, and we can talk through those steps with them.
Mm-hmm. You touched a little bit there on the faith aspect of this. How do you weave that into all the other day-to-day services that you provide? And have you seen that make a difference in how people wind up recovering from this eventually?
Yeah, Catholic Charities is definitely Catholic in the name, but really it's that Catholic as the community that cares for people. That is really a part of it. The Catholic social teaching informs our work, and that most people that are Christians would subscribe to that, whether they subscribe to being Catholic or not. That we are caring for people that are most vulnerable and people that might be in poverty, and standing up for those who are marginalized, and just being able to stop whoever comes to you, right, without that judging. And that's something that, while not all of our staff are Christians, it is teaching that they can also get behind and say, I can help someone who comes to me and help them find what resources they need for them. And for some of them, that is going to be finding a church family that they can be a part of. It can be finding just a support group that they can be a part of and walking through them on their journey. And as Catholic Charities employees, I think we all have, the empathy is very strong. I would say most people don't come to work for a nonprofit without really caring about people. Mm-hmm. It's hard work, and people are messy, and sometimes it can be difficult, especially in these situations. It can take someone an average of 7 times before they feel ready to leave a domestic violence situation. And we are here for the first time, the second time, the 15th time. There's no judgment when someone's coming to Catholic Charities. I think it's important for people to know our folks that work here have been through some of these very same things. They're not judging. They're here to listen, and they're here to help and provide resources and to help navigate the system, because sometimes the system can be very confusing. It can be hard to get through. And that's why an advocate is so important, because they're really there to be an advocate for the person that has maybe been through some trauma. And it can be hard to know, what do I do next? And we can help provide, here are some possibilities. What step do you think you want to take, and how can we support you on that journey?
And somebody who wants to reach out and make that first step, what's the best way for them to go about that?
We do have an office in Elmira. We have an office in Watkins Glen. They can always call our office, 607-535-2050, and be connected to an advocate. They can stop in. We encourage people to make appointments just to make sure we have an advocate on site, because sometimes they are out making visits, taking someone to court, or providing, other resources outside of the office. So we do encourage people to make an appointment and stop in, but giving us a call and just talking through those things. We also do operate a hotline that people can call. It is 24/7. That's local. That's the ladies here at Catholic Charities that operate that hotline. It's not meant to be for emergencies, right? So if it's an emergency situation, you're definitely calling 911. It's more of an after hours kind of line that they can call if there's something that comes up and they need to talk through. Lastly, I would say, if people aren't sure how to really help people who have been through domestic violence, so you might have someone that says, I don't know anyone who's been through it, I don't understand anything about it, what can I do? I would say educate yourself, right? So start with the Catholic Charities website. We have a page for First Step Victim Services. It's on our website. Check out what we have. Check out the resources. And then maybe you want to do a training and have someone come in and train you and your group, your church, your workplace, any kind of group that you want to get together. We would love to come and speak, just to help people understand and know how they can support survivors, and that it's important to listen. Listening is a huge part of being a support system for someone that has been through a situation like this.
That's Katie Rhodes with Catholic Charities in Chemung and Schuyler counties of upstate New York, meeting the needs of domestic violence victims. Please join us again next time as we search for your home, your town, your hero. It's Hometown Heroes on Family Life.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.